Today's lesson is Jeremy Renner, More Than One Way to Be a Hero. Hi, I'm Kiki.
I'm Mike.
And yesterday we were talking about Jeremy Renner, who a lot of us might know him as Hawkeye from the Marvel franchise.
Oh, yeah.
But he's actually a very versatile actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of action-packed movies, but he's also been able to make us laugh in some comedies.
True. He can also do makeup. He worked as a makeup artist for 8 years before he became a big movie star. And when he's not doing makeup or jumping out of exploding helicopters in the movies, he fixes up homes. He's really good with his hands. He's a handyman. He can do construction work and things like that. And then at the end of the day, after all the helicopter jumping and the makeup making and the home building, he likes to relax by playing music and writing his own songs.
Okay, well, we know he can do a lot of things. He is a hero that doesn't wear a cape. So let's find out more about him. Let's listen to the first part of today's lesson.
On New Year's Day in 2023, Renner used a heavy-duty snowplow to tow his nephew's truck out of some snow. After the truck was freed, though, the plow began sliding out of control, and when Renner then tried to stop it, he wound up getting run over. The accident left him with more than 30 broken bones and nearly crushed his vital organs, although his nephew thankfully avoided injury.
大家好，第一部分介绍片语 wind up 加动词 ing， 它的意思是最后落得……或是最后沦落到……例如 Despite the challenges, she wound up succeeding in her new role. 尽管面临挑战，她最终在新角色中取得成功。或者 They wound up canceling the trip due to bad weather. 他们最终因恶劣天气取消了旅行。接着看到形容词 vital， 表示维持生命所必须的、生命的或是极其重要的。例如 In emergency situations, efficient medical care can be vital in saving lives. 在紧急情况下，有效的医疗照护可能对拯救生命至关重要。或是 Having sufficient budget is vital to the plan's success. 有足够的预算对这项计划的成功至关重要。
Welcome back. We are talking about Jeremy Renner, and he has shown that not all heroes wear capes. He's able to do a lot of things. He's just a normal human being, just like you and me, but he can just make himself do a lot of things, but he got hurt.
That's true. It might sound like his life is incredibly blessed. He's lucky enough to be a big movie star, to be born with all these skills and talents. But yes, as we read on, we learn that he is just as human as the rest of us, and he can have accidents and possibly even make mistakes, serious mistakes, that can lead to big problems. So yes, not all heroes wear capes, and not everyone is a superhero every single day of their life. So let's read about a bad day in Jeremy Renner's life. It says on New Year's Day in 2023, so about a year and a half ago, Renner used a heavy-duty snowplow to tow his nephew's truck out of some snow. Well, he's kind of being a hero there, isn't he? His nephew was probably over for New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. They had a nice time. The nephew spent the night, and he wanted to go home. There was so much snow that his nephew's truck was stuck in the snow, and Jeremy Renner on his property there has a snowplow.
A heavy-duty one.
A heavy-duty one. A snowplow is a machine designed to basically plow or push snow out of the way. If you've ever lived in a cold climate, you'll know that after a snowstorm, it's very hard and very difficult to dig out your house or your driveway, your car. With a shovel, doing it manually by hand is very hard work. So you get a truck or a special machine called a snowplow, and they can basically push that snow using the power of the engine, and it saves a lot of time and energy. So he was using this to pull or tow his nephew's truck out of the snow. And then things started to go wrong.
Yeah. After the truck was freed, though, the plow began sliding out of control.
Uh-oh.
And when Renner then tried to stop it, he wound up getting run over.
Oh, my God.
So first he was trying to be a hero to help his nephew get the truck out. Then he was trying to be a hero again by trying to stop the plow that was sliding out of control.
So he tried to jump in the way or stop it in some way, but that didn't work out.
Yeah.
No.
He just got run over.
He wound up getting run over. To wind up doing something, this is an expression we often use at the end of a story to talk about the consequences or the results of your actions. You know, I wanted to get up early in the morning and go to the gym, but I wound up sleeping in for an extra hour and a half. That's how it ended up. So the story ended up badly. He got run over. The machine actually went over his body. And he is not Superman. He is not even Hawkeye in real life. He's a normal flesh and blood person. And so his flesh and blood and bones were badly injured.
The accident left him with more than 30 broken bones. And nearly crushed his vital organs.
He could have died.
Yeah.
He definitely could have died.
Although his nephew thankfully avoided injury. So he tried to stop the plow, I guess, because he didn't want his nephew or anybody else to get hurt.
Right.
So he tried to stop it, but he ended up getting really hurt. And the key here being his vital organs.
Yes, they got squeezed under that snowplow. Your vital organs, vital is very important or crucial or necessary. Generally, when they use that term, organs, we're talking about the large parts of our body that do specific jobs, your vital organs, your lungs, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your stomach, your pancreas, things like that. So it basically drove over his body, and at the same time it broke probably ribs, arms, legs, collarbones, who knows what. He got messed up in this accident.
And I remember they had to helicopter him.
Oh, okay, that's never good.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll listen to part 2 of the article.
Following the tragedy, Renner faced a challenging road to recovery, even needing to relearn how to walk. Fortunately, he could turn to music to help process the experience. Just 1 year after the accident, he released a song titled Wait, which he described as the story of his recovery and dedicated to his young daughter. His determination during this period demonstrated a different kind of heroism, the power to overcome personal struggles.
第二部分看到片语 turn to somebody 或是 turn to something， 它的意思是向点点点寻求支持、协助或是答案。例如 When in doubt, Shelley always turns to her mentor for advice. 当有疑问时 Shelley 总是向她的导师寻求建议。也可以说 After the loss, Hector turned to his family for support. 在 Hector 遭受失败后，他向家人寻求支持。再来介绍动词 dedicate， 表示把书或是音乐作品等献给点点点，也可以是奉献或是致力于的意思。我们可以说 The school's new library is dedicated to the principal who founded it. 那所学校的新图书馆是献给创校的校长。又或者说 Kate dedicated most of her free time to working with animals at the shelter.Kate 把大部分空闲时间奉献在照顾收容所里的动物。
Okay, welcome back. We learned about this really bad accident that Jeremy Renner had to go through, even though he was trying to be a hero. But not all heroes are invincible.
It's true.
He broke 30 bones and nearly crushed his vital organs. But luckily, nobody else was hurt. So what happened after the tragedy?
Well, he was in the hospital for quite a while. I think that's probably obvious. Following the tragedy, Renner faced a challenging road to recovery. Imagine healing all those bones and the injured organs and the surgeries he probably had. So a lot of recovery time was needed, even needing to relearn how to walk. So he might have broken his pelvis or something like that. I have no idea. But yeah, he he got definitely badly messed up. So recovery is basically repairing yourself or fixing things. Recovery is a word we would generally use with your body. You'll be in the hospital for recovery in the same way that your car will be at the garage for repairs. You could say doctors are repairing your body or your body is repairing itself, but recovery is a word we often use just to talk about getting back to your good, healthful situation. So after a heart attack, you'll need to have some recovery. If you break your toe, your recovery time will be much shorter than if you break your leg or something like that. So basically, it's healing yourself. Fortunately, it says he could turn to music to help process the experience. Very interesting. So while he's there with many long hours, days, weeks, months in bed, he's clearly not a guy who likes to sit around and not do anything, right? He's very active. And so he decided to turn to music, to sort of focus on music to help process the experience. Music helped him get through all of the long and very painful recovery that he had to go through.
And I guess music also helped him throughout the whole experience. Just 1 year after the accident, he released a song titled Wait, which he described as the story of his recovery and dedicated to his young daughter.
Wow, that's nice.
That's very nice. So through his unfortunate experience and also scary experience, he was able to turn it into something positive. He became creative. He expressed this experience through music. So he released a song called Wait. And he also talks about the story of his recovery, how he got better, and shared this experience with his listeners and his fans and audience. And he dedicated this song to his daughter. So when you dedicate something to someone, or if you're dedicated to something, you're basically trying to say that you're doing this for somebody else. So he wrote this song for his daughter, or he wanted to let everybody know that this song was done with something in mind. So when you dedicate something, you're kind of giving the reasoning of doing something to somebody else. You're kind of also, in a way, thanking this person or thanking someone for inspiring them to do something.
You're kind of honoring them by doing that. If the singer says, this song is for my mom, they're dedicating. Or often in the front of a book, it'll say, to my parents, thank you for all your support when I was a young writer, or something like that. Dedicated to my one true love. And you're kind of giving it over to that person. You're honoring that person. You're showing your respect. His determination during this period demonstrated a different kind of heroism, the power to overcome personal struggles. Yeah, he wasn't running away from fireballs or fighting bad guys in an action scene, but he had to have a lot of determination and a different type of heroism during this period. Determination is just that drive to succeed. You're never going to quit. You're never going to fail. You're never going to give up. You have determination. You're going to stick through all the tough times. You're going to reach your goal. You are not going to quit. So during that period, he had a lot of determination to heal himself and recover. And this is a different kind of heroism. Being a hero, showing the qualities of a hero, is heroism. Heroism, you might also pronounce it. If you're doing anything that a lot of people would go, you're crazy to do that, or how can you do that? I could never do that. You're still sticking with that. You're showing a kind of heroism, not necessarily by doing some great deed and saving people's lives or whatever, but just going through a really difficult process or experience that a lot of other people would run away from or would be unwilling to do, but you don't. You don't quit. You stick through it, and people will admire and respect you for that, for your dedication, your determination, and your heroism. And he showed a power to overcome personal struggles. To overcome is to kind of succeed, to not have the struggles, not have the difficulties and the barriers beat you. You kind of climb over them as if you're climbing over a fence and not letting it stop you on your journey. You are overcoming these problems, these challenges, these difficult experiences.
So in part 2, we were able to learn about how Jeremy Renner can turn such a scary, traumatic experience into something that you can learn from, or into something positive, and also to show a different type of heroism, especially in modern day when we're talking a lot about mental mental health. And for him to be able to share his personal struggles so openly, that's something quite heroic for all of us to learn.
Yeah, helpful for lots of other people going through tough times.
Yep. Okay, so let's listen to our last and final part before we wrap things up.
Renner's return to acting this year marked a triumphant comeback, and the accident has given him a new perspective on life. He emerged with the resolve to make the most of his time, saying he feels it's his duty to give back to all those who encouraged him in his hour of need. Clearly, heroism comes in many forms.
第三部分看到形容词 triumphant， 它的意思是胜利的，或是获得成功的，也可以是欢欣鼓舞的意思。例如 The triumphant football team is celebrating their victory. 那支获胜的足球队正在庆祝他们的胜利。又或者说 The triumphant tennis player celebrated his tournament victory. 这位欢欣鼓舞的网球选手庆祝自己赢得锦标赛。再来我们看到动词 emerge， 指的是从困境中生存下来，或是摆脱困难，也可以是出现或是显露的意思。举例来说 The driver emerged from the crash without any major injuries. 该名驾驶从车祸现场中生存下来，没受什么严重的伤。又或者说 The butterfly emerged from its cocoon, revealing its vibrant wings. 蝴蝶破茧而出，展现它色彩鲜明的羽翼。最后看到片语 in somebody's hour of need， 它表示在某人急需帮助的时刻。我们可以说 During the crisis, many turned to local charities in their hour of need. 在危机期间，许多人在他们急需帮助时求助于当地的慈善机构。也可以说 Drake proved to be a true friend by standing beside Alice in her hour of need. Drake 在 Alice 急需帮助的时刻支持她，以证明自己是她真正的朋友。
The last part says, Renner's return to acting this year marked a triumphant comeback, and the accident has given him a new perspective on life.
Okay, well, that's a good thing to come out of a bad situation.
And because something so scary happened to him, especially having to relearn how to walk, the fact that he can come back to acting, it really does show that all that hero training he had before was pretty good, because I'm pretty sure that a normal human being, if you didn't work out that much before, you might not survive the same type of accident.
That's a good point, or your recovery would be much longer and much more difficult.
Definitely. So this year, he returned to acting, and it marked a triumphant comeback. So what a comeback is basically when a well-known person returns to the activity that they were very successful in. Okay, so he was really good at acting, he took a break, and he made a comeback. Athletes, they make comebacks too. Some athletes, they'll be very successful in their sport, and then maybe because of an injury, they have to rest for a long time, start recovering, and then they make a great comeback. They continue to succeed in the same sport. So that's basically what a comeback is. But sometimes people, they try to make a comeback and it's not so successful. Maybe their age, or they really got badly injured, or for whatever reason, their comeback just isn't as great. But in our article, we're describing Jeremy Renner's comeback as triumphant, which basically means he was very successful in doing something. So his comeback was very successful.
Yeah, and it's given him a new perspective on life, this accident and his experience through the accident. A perspective is basically a point of view, a way of looking at things. As you move around looking at something, you'll look at it from different sides, from different angles, from different positions. That is a different perspective on that object that you're looking at. And we can can also use this to talk about how we view our life, right? If you go through life and have experiences, it'll give you a different perspective. Might have been one of those people who was very traditional and said, oh, women should only stay at home with the kids and the men should go out and work. And then when you were young, your father passed away and your mother had to start working and become a working mom. And that would give you a different perspective on what men and women can do or something like that. That's a simple explanation or a simple example. But, as life goes on, we look at things in different ways. Once we learn things, once we experience life in different ways, meet different people, learn about their stories, how they view life, how they do things. And so it gave him a different perspective. He probably appreciates life more, appreciates being with his kids more. Maybe he's learned to slow down a little bit and take it easy sometimes, and definitely learn not to jump in front of a snowplow in the future. He emerged with the resolve to make the most of his time, saying he feels it's his duty to give back to all those who encouraged him in his hour of need. Yeah, I've heard this often from people who face medical situations, have bad accidents. Kind of makes them realize that life is short, life is fragile. 1 minute we're having a great day with our snowplow, the next minute we're almost dying underneath the snowplow. It's time to, think of things, have a different perspective. So he came out, he emerged from this experience. To emerge is sort of to appear, to come out, to grow out of something in the way that a seed might emerge or a little green plant might emerge from a seed from the ground. So he came out of this with the resolve, the determination. He made a big life decision. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to maybe act less, spend more time with my kids, less time traveling around doing movies or something like that. Make the most of his time, enjoy his days on the earth, his days of life before it's too late. And he feels it's his duty to give back to all those who encouraged him in his hour of need. I'm sure, of course, he means his family. He means the staff at the hospitals who helped him, but probably the thousands or millions of people who sent him nice messages through social media and whatnot, giving him determination, telling him not to quit, telling him they want him to come back healthy and all that. And this was during his hour of need, during this difficult time in his life. So clearly, heroism comes in many forms.
Well, that's a great way to end the article. Now let's turn things over to our favorite Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。演员 Jeremy Renner 去年经历了一场严重的意外事故，他的康复之路充满了挑战，而这次的事故让他对生命有了新的观点。课文第3部分写到 He emerged with the resolve to make the most of his time. 他劫后余生，下定决心要充分利用自己的时间。好，文中是用单字 emerge 去表达劫后余生的语义，也就是从困境中生存下来，或者是摆脱困难的意思。那么 emerge 这个动词还可以表达出现、显露。我们来学习它的字首字根。看到 MERG、MERS 这一类的字根，它有下沉、下降或是骤降的意思。那么在 emerge 这个字当中，字首 E 表示向外， merge 表示下沉。当某个东西从下沉的状态向外向上浮出，应该可以联想到 emerge 它有出现啊、浮现、显现等等的意思。顺便补充其他有这一类字根的单字。第一个是 submerge， 它的字首 SUB 表示下方， merge 表示下沉，那往下方沉下去，应该就可以联想到 submerge， 它意思是潜入水中，使什么潜入水中、没入水中或是浸没的意思。第二个补充的是 immersion， 它的字首 IM 是来自 IN， 表示进入。MERS 这部分表示下沉， ION 是名词字尾。那我们可以用心思沉入了某事物，完全沉浸在里面来联想到 immersion， 它有沉浸啊、专注的意思。好，另外课文它用到 make the most of something 去表达充分利用什么什么，从什么当中获得最大收益。那这边补充2个意思相近的用法。第一个要补充的是 get the most out of something， 这是表达从什么当中得到最大收获，充分利用某事物。例如With careful planning, you will be able to get the most out of your savings. 有了仔细规划，你就能充分利用自己的储蓄，从中得到最大收获。 那第二个补充的是 make the best of something， 这也带有充分利用的语义。不过呢，这个片语通常是指遇到不方便不愉快的情境，仍然设法善用手边拥有的资源，也就是在不利情况下尽力而为，充分发挥可用之处。假设你和家人朋友去旅行时，可能碰到航班或船班等等被取消了，这时候也不能改变什么嘛，那也许就可以说Let's just make the best of it and do something fun. 我们就随遇而安，充分利用这个情况，做点好玩的事情吧。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Vital. The patient's vital signs indicated that the illness might prove fatal. Recovery. Following the operation, Mr. Larson will need to rest for several days to ensure his recovery. Dedicate.The author dedicated her latest novel to her father, who passed away shortly before it was completed. Determination. Nina's determination to finish the race despite her injury was quite inspiring. Overcome. Daryl overcame his fear of public speaking by taking a debate class. Perspective. Reading a variety of philosophical texts has given Kim a unique perspective on the meaning of life. Emerge.Thanks to the helmet he was wearing, Todd emerged from the bike accident with only minor injuries. Resolve. Brenda's resolve to succeed in her job has led her to seek guidance from her more experienced colleagues.
Discussion Starter starts now!Okay,
and we have a discussion starter. Do you agree with the author's view that the determination Renner showed in recovering from his accident was a form of heroism? Why or why not?
Well, I would say yes. I think Renner's determination did demonstrate heroism, considering that he was so badly injured. He could have really withdrawn. He could have ended up having lots of problems with his relationships, with getting better and things like that. So you need a very strong mind, a very strong willpower to kind of get through something like that without having it affect you too negatively. And it seems he came out the same or even a slightly better version of himself.
Well, I think no. Heroism is not a word I would use to describe Renner's determination during his recovery, since that was something he needed to do to make sure that he got better so he could spend time with his young daughter. But he showed heroism in other ways by showing people that mental health is important.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Mike.
I am Kiki.
See you next time.